Hi.
Hey, Robin.
Inwits, Josh. I'm confused.
The early mornings.
No, it's just we don't have any alcohol. That's all.
Well, yeah, we don't do it enough. We can't have
we
it at
can't
9 in the morning. Not
That's
9,
right.
not 9. Maybe if it
All
was 10:30, we could think about it. But 9 in the morning, probably a little
After you've
early.
done stuff for the day, then you can
Yeah,
have alcohol, right?
Not when you've just rolled
That's
out of
all
bed
right.
and come
That's
around
it,
here to film
right?
with you. It's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you can't do that. On with the show.
On with the show. Well, speaking of alcohol, there was alcohol in the first episode,
Oh,
wasn't
God,
there?
was there ever?
Oh,
Carl.
Carl was the
Was
worst.
that the first? No, that was the second episode.
Oh, second episode.
Oh, no, well, it was one. It was just we got the...
It's going to be hard
for
to
me,
call,
yeah. After we got 2 amazing episodes, and then you're going to get a lull.
Oh, of course you are.
And so it was a great way to get a lull in a joint double episode, which I didn't expect. So that was a nice little surprise for me. I'm like, oh, it's still going. We've got a double episode.
Yeah, so same here. I expected 1 and got 2, right?
Yeah.
And Carl displayed his lack of ability to hold alcohol, which was not very good. Not for his game.
Yeah. No, not for his game at all.
Oh gosh, don't drink and plan. So
just shut up. And that gave me a big thought. Like eventually there will come a time where I am on the island. I'm just probably not going to drink in those rewards. I may just have maybe 1.
Ever since I've watched the show, I've always been amazed that people will drink alcohol in the situation they're in. It's not going to help you.
It's not.
It's going to hurt.
Yeah, and the upside for me is I don't drink beer. So when they give beer, I'm like, I'm not interested at all. But when it's
like the nachos, right? I would not be drinking the tequila or the beer. I'd be eating the nachos. Yeah, and that'd be it. And I'd be saying any orange juice or something like that, right? Something with a bit of
sugar,
nourishment in it, or sugar, you know. So anyway, that was an aside. Anyway, I thought it was interesting, after the tribal. Angelina comes back and
after the tribal with where we got rid of Dan, or the first tribal in this double episode.
No, the one where they got rid of Dan.
Dan. Right? So last week.
No, this episode.
This episode. So not when they got rid of Dan. They got rid of who? They get rid of. They got rid of Alec.
No, before Alec.
Well, sorry. Alec and then Carl in this double episode.
Sorry. Alec goes. So it's after Dan, right?
Yeah.
But Angelina got 2 votes. Interestingly enough, she went over to them and said, after the tribal, who was it that voted for me? And really, Alec and Alison and Kara basically piped up and said it was us. Yeah. And she was like, why'd you vote for me? And Alison was like, well, you were a contingency plan. Yeah. And, Angelina was like, okay, thanks, that's crystal clear.
I know. But it was already crystal clear, Angelina. It's like you hadn't... And this is probably the theme of this double episode to me is this whole thing is like there's all this fear of when shall we make a move?
Yeah, I know.
Shall we leave the Goliaths? And now we saw the Davids have the same problem as the Goliaths had with now we've got the numbers. Now we're safe. But Angelina should have known. You should have been mixing this up. Alec had been afraid this whole time. Look where it got him.
I know.
They've all been afraid to take a risk.
Alec and Alison had a real chance to move up. Mike didn't. Mike panicked too quick. Right?
Mike panicked real quick, but in that initial stage, they were in a good shape.
Yeah, I know. But Alec, who had previously flipped on a Goliath in a 5-man tribe.
Yep.
So his name was already a bit besmudged with the Goliaths, right? Could have easily gone over with Nick and that. Very easily, right? Never ever did it.
Yeah, and this I need to build a resume, but the fear of what if it doesn't work? Because that's been a running theme for this. What if my play of jumping ship now doesn't work? Because if it doesn't, I'm the next to go. It seems to be this big thing holding everybody back this game.
But it almost seems like if I make a play, like Mike, I think in one of the tribals previously, right, said something along the lines of, you don't want to be seen as the traitor, right? At one level. But at another level, you do.
The other level,
where you get noticed.
You want to be seen as a player.
That's right.
It's like you might not want to be seen as a traitor, but if you can do it and stay on the right side, you don't want to be seen as the traitor that falls short of the numbers. The plan wasn't well executed.
Exactly. But that's the thing, though. You are going to be a traitor if you make a play. Yeah. Someone is going to be lied to.
Yeah.
And they're going to be on your case after that.
Yeah, there is potentially 3 people in the whole game that can get through without being lied to amongst themselves.
Exactly.
And they get the final 3. But that's going to be rare if the 3
I don't
people
think it's ever happened.
yeah,
I don't think it ever will.
that
right?
us 3 will make it to the end,
Exactly.
and like we even see it at the end of this episode, Gabby going, "I need to get rid of Christian."
Yeah.
You know, it takes for you
Thanks
to.
for that. I didn't see that bit. But anyway,
Oh,
let's
didn't
go.
you?
No.
Oh.
Oh no, but I don't believe the editor.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, we've seen Christian being thrown
No,
under the bus
right.
every episode.
Every episode,
Yeah.
right? It's not when.
Yeah, he's
it's
probably
like
the winner when.
of
of the season.
That's
at this
right,
moment, at this
you know?
moment. Yeah.
So, but yeah. Anyway, look. You're right. But the problem I have with Angelina is she's constantly, how do you say, boosting her play. Oh, I'm a mover. I'm a show. You know, this is the sort of thing and she doesn't even know that she's on the bottom of her tribe.
She's been on the bottom either side.
It's just strange.
It's just the thing of, you know. Go.
But then there's Davie and Nick, right? The idol's been played. They've played their nullifier, everything like that. Who gets up before everybody else?
Yeah.
And goes out and idol hunt? Davie and Nick.
Yeah.
Right? They're out there. They're looking, and they find.
And I'm glad it's a clue.
Yeah, I'm glad it was a clue too.
I'm glad it was a clue that also had an added challenge to it.
When it said you're going to have to be brave and blah blah, and then it was walk to the end of the island at night. I was like, no, it should have been in the challenge. You should have had to pick
or something like that, because it's like, oh, what if they're all awake or
exactly?
They haven't been, and the past two mornings you've got up before them anyway.
I mean, you got up before them to get the clue, so get up before them to get the idol.
And you got up the day before to get the other idol. You know,
so it's not that
it wasn't that challenging.
Right.
I hear you there. I thought it was kind of almost a leaf out of the last Australian season where Benji had to cross the river.
Yeah, exactly. To the other island, right? That's what I was actually expecting. I thought it was going to be you have to go to the island,
swim out to this
swim
island.
out the island, but it wasn't even that.
But it was just wait till they all go to bed.
And there was a bloody torch there anyway.
Yeah, it's like here it is, and it was just hanging there.
Yeah, remember when what's her name had to go trawling through the swamp in the Australian season for 3 or 4 hours?
Yeah, so it was just a walk and find it. Which is look, it's fine, but I like the fact that there was an added part to it.
Oh, so do I. I think there should be more of that. Right?
Yeah, agreed.
And it should be more puzzle-like.
Yeah,
it should be.
I think we should even. Yeah, I think they should even go even further.
Oh, absolutely. I think it should be a little poem.
What it used to be, didn't it? Back in the early days, they had little like a riddle. Almost.
That's right, a little riddle or something like that, where you have to figure it out.
Yeah.
Then go get it. Right.
Yeah.
And somebody in the meantime could, of course, just find it.
Yeah.
You know, so that's good. I like that. And we liked the one previously. You remember Carl?
With the picture.
No, Carl, where he had to go and get the coconut out.
Yeah.
You know, it was like...
Yeah, you've got a certain amount of time to get me, or else I'll be washed away.
Well, washed away. So Carl was like, oh, damn, you know, he had to run down to the beach. And
yeah.
That was good.
That was a good one, definitely.
So anyway. Really weird thing I've noticed, right? Has Mike actually missed the reward? Despite every tribe he's been on, right?
He's always got the reward.
He has always been on the reward. Every time. Every reward. I can't believe it. It's unbelievable. Right? Every reward.
Loving life. Absolutely loving it.
And he's playing. Look, I have to say this about Mike. Up till now, I haven't rated him as a player. Right? But he's playing a really successful Sandra game of just being a vote.
Yeah.
Like even now, when the Goliaths have been destroyed, right? The Davids are still coming to him and going, vote with us. You know what I mean? Like he doesn't have a bad name.
He does. Yeah, it's
on either side.
His panic to pull out of the alliance.
Yeah, really didn't backfire.
It's not that it didn't backfire. I think it's more the fact that because he was the first to kind of do it, and then the others followed suit, they took more of the heat.
Yeah, probably.
And it was like, and Alec was still with us, but then, because they didn't really know, he did it at a time where it's like, will they, won't they? Yeah. We want them to come across, and it was the early days, and he jumped ship too early for it to be, they're committed with us.
Oh, yes,
we trust him. They wanted to, but they didn't, and he got away, and on top of that, he isn't really a big threat either.
No, but that's what I mean. He's playing that really good middle game that Sandra plays of
just very quiet.
Just not me.
Yeah, and it's not big Yao in the team that doesn't have any power. He's just not drawing attention to himself.
That's right, and he's always in the vote.
Yeah,
you know. Oh well, he hasn't been for the last two, but what I mean is like he's never under threat. Nobody ever says Mike.
You know what I think it could be? It could be the fact that people have this thing of like we've lost the power, we need to scramble.
Yeah.
Which then makes you be a bit more noticed. Mike knows the power's gone. Mike's almost gone, I made a bad move by leaving these people.
Yeah.
I'm just going to accept that was what it was, and I'm just going to keep playing the game because the game is going to change again, and something will come my way. Rather than panicking and freaking out, Mike has this calm stillness that you don't need. He's just there having a good time on the island, and not really. Whereas if you're like, shit, Goliath, we had the numbers, now we don't. We've got to try and get people back, and then it's like, geez, Kara came up to me really hard. Yeah, her name's out. Her name's out. Alec's name's out. It's like, Alison.
Mike is just, like you said, he's going on the rewards. He's sitting back, relaxing on the beach, right?
Yeah.
People come up to him in the hammock and go, hey, it'd be great if you voted with us.
If you don't, screw you. But it's not gonna hurt your game because we still want to get these people out.
And Mike's sitting pretty in the middle. His name never comes up. Nothing ever gets said about him. Yeah. It's amazing, really. I think Nick's playing a better game. Nick, even in these 2 episodes, is completely in the background.
Nick's, and I'm curious because...
And so is Davie. They were, when Carl took over, they were both like,
But why were they?
I think they're smart enough to realise that if you try to do what Carl did, you will get the same result.
So, because
they're smart enough to realise, suggest names, suggest strategies, don't push.
Because I don't believe Carl was ever part of the Davie Nick sort of thing.
Oh, no, they weren't. He wasn't.
Because Carl was always an outsider, but then he kind of gained this confidence.
After the nullifier. Yeah. Even to the point where he should be in the Hall of Fame.
But it's almost, and that's the thing, it's like, the thing about the nullifier play was they all, as a team, sat around.
Exactly.
It's not one. That's not a single person's play. Just because he played it because it was his advantage.
Exactly.
It's a group, and we saw the shot. And I would have loved to have seen the conversation, but we saw the shot of all of the Davies there discussing how to play these advantages. So it's hard to kind of go.
But he falls to what a lot of players fall to as soon as they get a success. Yeah. All of a sudden they go, "Hang on, I know how to play this game." Yeah. And everybody else is, Yeah.
So the Nick and Davie are really.
Like they're smart. They're getting up and they're looking for idols.
They're playing very smart. Like
exactly.
The fact that Davie has an idol, like my current top 3 players, Davie, Nick, and Christian, have idols.
That's right.
And the only one most people know about on the David's tribe is
Christian.
No, it's Davie's.
No, it's Christian's.
Christian stayed out there. He hasn't told anyone about that.
He did. Remember when they were...
Nick he did. Yeah. But so they know... Well, then they know Davie's because they sat about it.
Davie hasn't got one anymore.
He never played it. Oh, no, he did play it.
Nick's got it.
So there's only 2 idols out there.
Yeah, Christian and Nick.
Christian and Nick. So only Davie knows about Nick's.
Exactly.
Gabby doesn't know about Christian's.
He told all of them as a group. Remember when they were sitting there? Nick said, "I've got this steal a vote." Christian said, "Well, I've got an idol," and that's when Carl poked up. He poked up with
Christian didn't have the idol then. Davie still had the idol. Because then Christian went out and played the next night. It was definitely Davie.
No, it wasn't. Not when they pulled. Not for the second vote.
When they were all
for the first vote, you're correct. Do you know when they played the idol to get rid of John? You are correct.
Oh, no, you are correct.
Right? In the second one...
Because then the idol had been played. Yes, you were correct.
And Christian had found it. Remember? They all went out looking?
Yeah. Okay.
So everybody knows about Christians, but nobody knows about Nick's.
Apart from Davie.
Apart from Nick.
Okay.
Right. Only Davie knows about Nick's, right?
Yeah.
But they'd be looking, I think, if Christian plays his idol, I think they'd be the first ones out there looking for that too.
Mm-hmm. Right? Oh yeah, they're brilliant like that. That's I don't know why no one's doing that enough.
But it's really interesting. Here you got 2 guys who are basically like, every time an idol's played, we are going to go out and look for it. And look at the success they're getting doing it.
And this is the thing where you don't want to tell anyone about an idol. But the only person you would want to tell, as this is something I've always you want a 2.
You do want a 2.
You want a 2.
Maybe
and Davie and Nick are the 2.
Yeah.
Yes, Nick has a good relationship with a Christian. He has a good relationship with... He had a relationship with Alec. He's got these relationships, but it seems like the Davie and Nick relationship is being pushed towards the forefront. And that's the 2.
I think it's almost evolving naturally. It's not like they've picked each other. It's just through gameplay. Yeah. They're both on the same page.
They're on the same page, and it's working for them in the sense that Nick can sit there and look at Davie and go, I trust him because he never told me about his idol.
Right? Yeah,
you know, and you're working together, and you know, if we find this idol together, this information is you and I information.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, they're going really well, but it's interesting to see. I'd be curious to see what happens now that the Gabby Christian attack on Carl.
Oh, well, we can get to that, right? But I agree with you, because we haven't heard anything about Mason Dixon in these 2 episodes.
No.
At all, right? Which is, I think, a little bit of a shame.
It's a shame, because it was the same thing. It was like, Nick had these couple of alliances, and Christian has his alliance with Nick and his alliance with Gabby.
That's right.
And he sided with Gabby at the moment.
That's right. So, anyway, we'll see how that goes, right? Let's talk about the immunity challenge.
Which one? Are we talking first?
The first one.
Yeah, okay.
I just wanted to touch on the fact that 5.5 hours and Christian won it. I mean, that's an immense effort.
Oh, no, I think, did it get to 6? Did it get close to 6?
No, Jeff said it was almost 6 hours in the trial, right? But it was 5.5 hours, or maybe a little longer, I don't know. But that's an amazing effort of willpower. Now, if you were worried about Christian beforehand because of his social game, I'd be worried doubly after this, because he just took Alex out.
Yeah.
Who was a beast according to everybody else, right?
Well, he didn't just take him out. They went strong, but
no,
Alec was on his way he was going to pass out on that.
Oh, I know, but still, Christian pushed him to the point where he was.
Christian pushed him to the limit,
and Christian did not look half as
he also came off there kind of okay.
Exactly, and that's my point. It's
like
not like he fell down to the ground and everybody.
And was like, thank God. He kind of got off.
He just kind of got, wow, I won.
And he's. I loved his approach for concentrating.
Well, that's what I was about to say. What do you think of his approach, like of just talking the hell out of his opposition?
Loved it. I absolutely loved it.
He did not shut up for 5.5 hours.
And I loved what it was that Carl was like, maybe you better concentrate. And Christian's like, this is how I concentrate, Carl, please. This is how
I love how he said to Jeff Roche, oh, you're a captive audience.
No.
And then Jeff in the trial was like, I was
definitely captive.
Right? I couldn't. Well, I couldn't leave. You know, I love that.
Yeah. Captive, not captivated.
That's right. Yeah. I thought it was fantastic.
I loved it. You know what?
Great to see some personality in a challenge.
He's got so much personality, and it's not. And you know what? He's not even doing it for any other reason. He's just himself.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's like, you know what? He's not thinking about, I'm doing this as to distract or put someone else on his game. He's doing it, I need to do this to keep myself focused and keep my mind occupied. And I know if I start to think, because he is so passionate about odds and ends of the science and puzzles and whatever, he's so passionate about it, everything else he just forgets, and he can just continue on this tangent of random bits and pieces that
I think
nobody knows.
I think, you know how Jeff in the challenge said to Nick and Mike are under the table trying to get away from the heat. No, I think they were trying to get away from
it's like blocking some of the sound.
Stop the sound.
It was great, and it's like, you know, and it worked as a thing to like, it frustrated Alec. Not that I don't think he got past it. He's like, just shut up, man.
Yeah, but I as soon as Alex said just shut up, if I was Christian, I would be going, okay, it's working, so keep doing it.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
But no, I thought it was just a fantastic effort on Christian's part, and it proves, I think, how dangerous he can be.
Yeah, I really do hope Christian goes to the end. I would love to see Christian win.
Yeah, I've got no problems with Christian winning at this stage.
Yeah. And I said no problems with Christian or Nick, but Christian was the one who was outed at the start, and then he he's had a lot of great screen time, and
he's been picked twice by the Goliaths as the player to get out and survived, right? So he's done a pretty good job.
Yeah, I hope he keeps his ear to the ground, because as the numbers whittle away, because what do you think about that? I think he probably should have tried to keep Alec. Because he didn't talk about it.
We'll get to the vote in a minute, all right?
Yeah.
I'd just like to talk about Gabby's effort in that immunity challenge.
You know, she was on the cusp, wasn't she? She was on the cusp of breaking, and this is what I've believed in Gabby for a long time. And I was like, Gabby, you're putting up, and then all of a sudden
it
was too much. Her brain just went, cannot do it, and everything shut down. Because I was really impressed, because it was Alec, Gabby, and Christian. That was all that was left.
That's it.
And Gabby really wanted it, but then all of a sudden, she was just defeated in an instant. And I'm like, I actually, for a while, I'm like, Gabby actually really wants this. She could win this one.
Yeah, that's what I was starting to think too. She might win, right? But then she falls to pieces.
She falls to pieces in seconds.
And, you know, big cry fest, right? Alison comes over and puts her arms. But what I mean is, it was just this complete... For the last episode leading into that challenge, I thought I'd seen a bit of a different Gabby.
I think we're seeing it. It's still... And we're like, the fact with the next episode where she did move with Christian against Carl and they worked together.
But I think that was an emotional thing. I don't think that was...
but I still think
Carl had ticked her off so much.
Yeah.
It was like, I want to get rid of Carl. I don't
But
really rate that.
it's also the fact that...
I don't think it's strategy.
I think it's strategy in Christian's eyes. The fact that I'm telling you that this is... And she was also able to not explode knowing she was on the outs there.
No, she did.
No, because they didn't see it coming.
No, wait. No, what I'm saying is, like, look, she fell back into a woe is me act, right?
She's on the cusp of being something. She's on the cusp of growth.
But then but on the sand, she was like, oh, woe is me, I'm going to have a cry. Why don't you give me the immunity, right? Sort of attitude, right? Which really sucks.
Yeah, she was on. Yeah, right? That was when she was giving up, when her brain shut down. Exactly. She was like, I can never do this ever by myself. Please let me win something. I'll never win anything. I'll never win anything. I'm like,
what the hell?
You know, Gabby, if you just focused a little, if your focus could stretch a little bit further, because she was in there.
Yeah, but then almost in the very next scene, we have her walking on the conversation with Carl, is talking to Christian and a few others about let's vote Alison, right?
Yeah.
And then she goes off and cries.
Yeah.
Because she wasn't part of it at the beginning. Like, oh no, I don't get the cool kids, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. And then she has a big cry to Christian. I'm like, for God's sake, play the game. Right? Play the goddamn game.
You struggle with these tears, don't you?
Oh, because it's too give me it.
Yeah.
It's too much give me it. It's give me, give me, give me. No, this is Survivor. You earn.
Well, I think it's... I've always been on Gabby's side.
Look, don't get me wrong. If she can actually suck players in with give it to me, right, and get them to give us stuff, that's fine.
That's what's her face from season 1 Australia.
Yeah, but that's fine, right?
Yeah.
But it's not a great plan, and it's really ugly gameplay.
I don't think that's her. I just think that's her. I don't think that has anything to do with the game. I think that the game is bringing out her insecurities and all this sort of stuff, and she doesn't know how to
maintenance.
She doesn't know how to handle them. But I feel like there is growth.
The problem I have with all this, and this is really my problem, if Gabby was by herself, I would not be half as against her as I am, right? Because the problem I have is Christian. Christian has said in his one-on-one with the camera in this episode, right? Part of my job is making sure Gabby is happy.
Yeah.
No, Christian, that is a complete waste of resources.
Yeah.
A complete waste.
Whereas if you look at a few episodes ago, Kara and Dan, my job is trying to keep Dan okay. Yeah, I can't do that. It's affecting my game.
And Kara makes the right decision
and steps off from Dan, and now Dan goes home, and Kara has some position, not a position of power, but she's not. Her name's not out. She's not on the chopping block, and she now has positions, and she now found herself with Gabby and Christian coming over to her, and finding herself in a position where I can move forward in the game, and I have to play. I'm going to have to play really well, and things are going to have to fall well for me to get to the end. But she's got a chance of winning the game because she
by herself on her own merit.
Now, Christian being the opposite and keeping Gabby happy, is that because maybe there is, these two individuals who are very unique and very kind of introverted and different?
I don't think. Look,
connecting really well on a personal and a level outside of the game is what could be Christian's downfall.
But that's what I was about to say. I don't really mind what the connection is. It's great that he's got a connection, right? But the problem is he's putting so many resources into that connection. Yeah. This is the thing. Gabby's sucking the resources out. And she may not realise it, but every time she's crying on Christian's shoulders about that, that's an effort he has to make to try and fix her, right? And that's distracting him from the game, right? Yeah. So she is literally a dead weight around his neck at the moment, right? And that's my problem with her. Yeah. Right? If you're going to be in a 2, contribute.
Yeah, where it's like you look at the Christian and Gabby versus the Davie and Nick 2.
Right? They're contributing to each other's
whereas
game.
Gabby
is using Christian as a crutch.
Gabby, however, is slowly gaining strength within the game and within herself. Not a lot of strength. I'm not saying she's a power player or anything. No. I'm just saying within her own ability to play the game, she is the fact that she got to 3 in that challenge and she lasted 4.5, 5 hours, whatever it was. The fact that she got there is a really good testament for her and her ability to push herself to her limits. But she needs to realize that she also has. She's got strength to go even further because you don't stay on for that long and crumble within 10 seconds unless it's physically your body physically shuts down.
Yeah, exactly.
Mentally, she crumbles. If you crumble mentally at that stage, it's not about pain anymore because you passed the pain threshold.
Exactly.
It's mental strength, and she's just got to realize she can do that if she wanted to. And I think I'm putting faith that we will see Gabby grow by the end of the season, become really strong.
The other problem here I have is that Christian, after talking to Gabby, sees Carl as his problem, right? Oh, Carl's becoming a problem to work with in my alliance, both personally and as an alliance member, right? And this is after talking to Gabby. Now, this goes back, and this is why I wanted to say it to ladies, to the Alex vote, right?
Yeah.
Or to the Alex vote. This goes... Yeah. Alex... Christian says to Alex, I want to keep you around because you're a great shield for me,
Alec
right?
is a great... I think is a great person to keep around.
If Gabby wasn't there, why wouldn't you keep Carl around? Carl's a great shield. Carl's taking all the heat.
That's true.
Right? Carl has got all the guys that focus on Carl.
But at the same time, the problem with...
My point here is that you've got 2 shields to choose from as Christian. You've got Alex to choose from as a shield, and you've got Carl to choose.
And you've removed both of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, because my thing is Alec is a far better shield because Carl is getting the reputation. Mike's called him the Godfather, not just Gabby. Other people are calling him the Godfather. And that's not someone you want as a shield because he's taking credit for things he shouldn't be taking credit for.
No, but I don't think all he's going to get credit for is being a douchebag, right?
Yeah, but he also he can claim because everyone's seeing Carl dictate the votes. Alec isn't dictating any votes.
No, that's true.
Alec is just a physical target that people want to get out because they're afraid he's going to win individual immunities.
But all I'm saying is that
Carl...
Christian is saying he's problematic, right? But Christian did not mention that Carl can be a shield. Carl can be a shield. He's taking a lot of heat.
Carl can be a shield.
Nick and Davie are quite happy with Carl doing what he's doing.
Only at the moment. I think they wanted an extra number to make sure the Goliaths could stay there, and then they probably would have got rid of him.
Of course. Look, he's not going to last long, obviously.
No.
Right? People in Survivor who are like Carl becomes, right, don't last very long.
No.
Right, when they're overbearing. But that's what I mean. You only have to keep him around for 2 votes.
Yeah, it was probably 1 extra vote they needed him around to kind of keep the numbers because now there's, not that it matters, but now there is room for someone to move on the Giants, the Goliath side, but there's also someone to move from the David side across to the Giants. Whereas if you keep if you're worried about these numbers, if you keep them repressed, you then have the ability to keep more power. And then Carl's gone the next one. We don't want him.
That's right.
He's just been calling his shots because we needed him to keep
that.
But
then
numbers.
Once you get rid of him, you just say, well, it looked like he was calling his shots. Remember when Davie was in control of her alliance, right?
Yeah, it's like we just needed him there for a bit of heat.
And that way you can take back,
of course,
own those things back.
Of course.
But anyway, the Alex vote, right? I think it would have been a good move on Christian's vote part to keep him around, actually.
Yeah, I totally reckon to keep him around.
The thing that was balancing in my mind was, especially with Alex in his performance, like Christian beat him out, and it looked like comfortably, right?
Mm-hmm.
But we have seen who else has challenged Alex in a challenge?
Alison possibly could, because they called her Wonder Woman.
Yeah, but Dan has, right? Nobody else has really come close. But all I'm saying is, was that when Alex lost that immunity? Was that one shot you get at somebody like that? And did Christian choose the right time to take that shot because he knew further down the track, let's say Alex wins 2 or 3 more immunities.
Yeah, you've got Alec, who's the only now physical,
exactly.
Davie, Nick, but the rest you've got Christian, you've got Mike, you've got Gabby, like I said, Alison they call Wonder Woman, so Angelina.
Right?
There's not many big physical threats.
I'm not upset with his choice because it may be the only shot that he got at Alex for the next 3 votes.
But does that matter? Does that matter if someone gets to the end?
Because you want a shield, but you don't want somebody who wins the next 3 immunities. Because then, as you know, as more and more people leave, that immunity takes on a little bit more power each time.
Yeah.
And I don't think you wanted Alex in control of the game.
But for someone like, or I suppose Alec did. He was the only one of the Goliaths who kind of had thought of strategic ways, but he's never been able to play it.
He was the only thinker I've seen.
Yeah, but it's like when you put an Alec thinker compared to a Christian thinker.
I know.
You know, Christian's a brain. That's all. Like he's just a giant brain on Survivor.
But even saying that, I think Nick and Davie, right, outperform me.
Yeah.
In the dynamic front, of being able to figure out strategies and who to vote.
So I think in a case like that where you do have one single physical threat or a dominant threat.
I'm not saying he made the right choice in one sense, but I'm saying was it that one shot he gets?
It might have been, but what I'm trying to get at is that an issue? Because so what if, say, like I said, a Davie and a Nick.
Yeah.
Have confidence in your final
true.
tribal speech to be like, yeah, he was allowed to win all that stuff.
Yeah, true.
That had no impact on my game at all. Actually, it made my game easier because everyone was focused about trying to get rid of him, trying to beat him each immunity. Everyone's effort was every individual immunity challenge. We've got to get rid of Alec. We've got to beat Alec. So everyone's focus is on trying to beat Alec.
And that's the beauty of Alec as a shield.
Yeah.
As he wins more and more immunities, everybody's focus.
And then it's like this whole big thing about every individual immunity challenge that comes our way, we need to beat Alec.
Yeah.
Because if we beat him, then we can vote him out.
That's right.
Then if you don't beat him, you're like, oh my God, everyone's left scrambling. But if you were wanting him to win, you already know who's going home.
Exactly.
It's like you can work with Alec, let him win, and vote out, pick off the ones who are scrambling, and play the game of this week, we've got to beat Alec. We've got to beat Alec this week. Come on.
You really don't want him winning that last immunity at the same time.
That's the only one. Right. Yeah, you don't want him to win the last one. But that's the thing. The thing about the last one is you don't want anyone to win the last one other than you.
Right?
Yeah, that's the joy of that last one. Is like there's no one you want to win.
I think it was an interesting choice, the Alex choice, because if you had kept Alex around, as you've just said, he would have been a fantastic focus. Right? He would have just focused everybody's attention. Every immunity challenge would have been, how are we going to beat Alex? Alex would have been constantly on people's lips. Fantastic shield. Fantastic. But on the other hand, can you beat him? You know what I mean? Or use him.
Yeah, you've got to be able to use him. You've got to be able to know. You've got to be able to use him enough to know that he would, if he wins the final immunity, he would keep you.
Exactly.
And that's right. That's the only downside with that is because it's now, that's an element of, you're unsure of the future possibilities because it's in Alec's control and not in your control.
I think it would have been really interesting if you had kept him.
But I would have kept him. I would have kept him very, like I said, it's that united focus of everybody else wanting to get someone that isn't you off. And I think that's amazing. That's amazing place to be because all of a sudden the room you have to move and manipulate is there and you don't see it.
And you got to be. Like, the other thing is he would have given Nick and Davie room to move as well.
Exactly.
Right? But exactly. Right? So, I think it was a really interesting choice. I probably, like you, would have chosen Carl instead.
Yeah,
right?
I would have got rid of Carl.
Because he's a short-term shield, whereas Alex could be quite a good shield for a long time.
Carl's pissing people off, but Carl's also taking the focus of making moves. I don't want someone to focus making moves. I almost want it as if nobody's making moves.
Yes. That's right.
If someone's taking the heat of the move making, I don't want them around.
Now, in the next... I don't think there's much to talk about in the next episode, right? Surprisingly.
Well, let's talk... The only thing... Like, there's a couple of things I want to tap
there is a couple.
Angelina's masters in negotiation.
Yeah, negotiation.
We're lowballing this, Jeff, by giving you everything we have, bar a pot. I'm like, this is like how you start a negotiation.
Right now, but this is... But even Jeff said, that's a really lowball offer, which was everything.
Yeah.
I was like, what else is there?
I'm like, well, maybe the machete. I'm not sure if they said the machete.
Right?
Maybe the flint.
Okay. Oh, the flint would have been a big one.
There wasn't much left to give.
Give us food, but nothing to cook it with. Yeah, that's going to be great.
There wasn't much left. It's like a lowball offer was like, look, please take it. We'll swap our fishing gear. for some rice.
I think Jeff came back with that. Well, that's a low-ball offer because I think he just wanted to see if somebody would do what was done, right? But I wouldn't have started there where she did.
That's nowhere where I would start.
The first thing I would have offered would be
maybe the hammocks.
No.
Maybe the fishing.
First thing I would have offered would be. Did they have a tarp?
They've got a tarp. No, the first thing I would offer would be the fishing gear because they're not
catching
they're not catching fish.
Yeah,
if
get rid of
was,
what you don't use.
If you had a Rupert or an Aussie catching a bunch of fish, keep the fishing gear.
Well, I would have.
But they can't catch.
Well, this is the thing I would have said to Jeff. I would have said, "Look, we're willing to do a swap of our fishing gear for some rice. Not all the rice, some. Just see how much he offers.
Yeah.
If he says, okay,
if he goes, look, fishing gear is not enough, I'm going to need more.
Yeah.
Then we build up.
Right?
We don't sit there and go, this is what I'm thinking. Everything bar one pot.
That's right.
Come on, Angelina, this is not a good...
I think it was one pot. One big pot and one little pot.
Yeah, it's like two pots. And the machete and the spoon. I'm like, come on, Angelina.
That's right. No. That was terrible.
That was what you learned in a Masters of Negotiation. I don't negotiate, but I already know, yes, that's a good deal for me.
Well, you do negotiate. Every time you make a film, you negotiate.
Yeah, I suppose.
But and you know when it's good and you know when it's bad.
I'm not one of those people that are going to the store going, I'll give you $20 for it.
No,
I'm not one of those sort of people that are hustling for a bargain.
No.
But I was just like, whoa, that's a terrible master. Whatever money you spent on that master's degree, they ripped you off something.
I know, right?
They have not taught you a thing.
I was like, what negotiation? God. I wouldn't do that negotiation course, even if it is at Harvard.
I would negotiate with you every day of the week because I am coming off better.
That's right. I would negotiate with her every day of the week.
Yeah.
You know, Kara is a realtor, right? Who obviously does negotiations all the time, right? Yeah. She must be sitting there going, please buy a house for me.
Yeah,
please
because I'm sure a few people were like, this is too much.
Yeah, that's right.
And our hammocks, I think was one. And our hammocks.
Right?
We're already giving them all this stuff. And now our hammocks. I was like,
I'm sure Kara was like, please buy a house off me in the future, Angelina. Please win a lottery and buy a house off me.
Yeah.
Because I'll make so much money out of you, right? So we've already touched on Carl's drunkenness, right? That was just such a bad look.
It's terrible. It's a terrible look. It's a terrible look. It's an easy in for someone on the outs and to find a target, to find a weakness.
What a crack to find.
Yeah,
right?
It's just control yourself. I know it's been 30
I've been praising
days.
Davie's behaviour, right? Now he did not get as drunk as Carl, but he did get tipsy, right?
Tipsy.
But at least he shut his mouth.
Yeah,
he wasn't mouthing off about we're going to do this, we're going to do that. We want to get rid of.
And it's funny, like you might get tipsy on one drink because you haven't had any nourishment for a long time. Your body's pretty depleted.
Yeah.
So you got to realize that Carl might have a slab of beer and be fine back home, but 6 beers is going to tip him over the edge because Carl's not a big guy.
Yeah, your body's in deprivation, right? Any sort of toxicity is going to have a much bigger effect.
And Carl was just. Yeah, terrible thing to do.
Absolutely, and just wrecked his game. Well, I mean, I think he wrecked his game before he went.
I think what wrecked his game is the overconfidence from playing.
But you know, when Kara, absolutely. But when Kara came back from the reward, she was like, "Oh, thanks, Carl, for telling me I'm a pawn."
Yeah.
Up until then, she didn't know. Now I know. Thanks. Yeah. I know exactly who I need to get rid of.
Yeah.
So Kara from then on was like. Just waiting for somebody to say Carl so she could go yes.
Exactly, because it's only a matter of time before someone like that will rub someone the wrong way.
Exactly.
Rubbing Gabby the wrong way is very easy because she needs heightened respect or whatever. She needs a lot. She needs a lot more. And when you do keep her out, like you've kept her out and brought in someone else in replace of her, it's just a foolish. Carl never knew how to play from the beginning, though, did he?
No, he's been sitting there doing nothing.
Yeah.
Then he plays the nullifier and turns into I'm going to run the show.
Yeah.
Typical overconfident response.
And without the team, he would never have played that nullifier.
No, exactly. No, because he wouldn't have known who to play.
He probably would have never played it. But he would have been too afraid to.
Well, the thing is, he wouldn't have known when to play it for what effect.
Yeah.
You know, they were playing it to get rid of Dan.
Yeah.
But they were voting for Dan. Without the vote for Dan, that nullifier meant nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So yeah. So anyway, Carl really just blows his own game up.
Yeah.
Pretty much just as bad as Jeremy did way back in the beginning of Goliaths, right? Anyway, I think Gabby's going to be bad for Christian. I just think he's just going to be a millstone that drags him down.
Well, in the next episode thing, it does say Gabby starts to side with an Alison and a Kara that I need to get rid of Christian.
Well, the thing is about the edit.
I know it's the edit, but she says those actual words.
Yes, it could be a bluff.
I don't think it'd be a bluff. I just don't think it'll. I don't think she'll successfully do it.
Oh no! Look, the problem for Gabby is this: she has been riding Christian's coattails all the way here, right? Mm-hmm. She has no capacity to understand what it takes to make a move.
Yeah, and maybe this Carl vote is the equivalent of Carl playing the nullifier.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Yes, I can be quiet. This is because, like I said, Gabby is starting to find something that she's starting to. She's no Nick or Davie.
No.
I'm not saying that, but I'm saying for where Gabby's at, she's starting to understand and starting to grow as a human. And, and maybe this one little thing where it's like, I think, from being upset about being kept out of whatever Carl was saying to turning it around and going, actually, I am on the out, but Christian's my insider. Yeah. I've got information. I don't need to freak out about this. And successfully pulling off this Carl thing may be a bad thing because now she thinks she can all of a sudden create
maybe you're
moves.
Right. Yeah, that's a really good point. I hadn't thought of, right? But if she does, like I said, I think she'll blow it. I think she'll blow it
just because I feel like we've seen Christian's name being thrown out. This will be the third or fourth time in the end little scenes that Christian's name's been thrown out. I really think Christian's going to the end, potentially with a Nick or potentially with a Davie.
Well, the only thing, look, really, for Christian's point of view, the thing he needs to do is repair his relationship with Nick.
I don't think, so this is what I wanted to tap on before we wrap up. Is like the Christian and Gabby flip has been pivotal to this episode.
Yes.
But I want to discuss slightly what is Nick and Davie, because now they're pretty tight. What is their move after they kind of were blindsided? I don't think they need to do much.
Oh no, they don't need to do that much at all, I don't think.
And I think they'll respect this and understand that that's how the game is played.
Oh, of course.
And not freak out and not panic and then get more information. Let's talk to Christian, see where his mind was at. And then if they get word of Gabby, because Gabby's talking to people about getting rid of Christian, if it comes back to Christian just pays his idol, Gabby goes home.
Absolutely.
It's all kind of pretty easy. But I just think those three boys potentially will come together through that.
Yeah, look, I think you're right. I think Davie and Nick, over the whole course of this episode, have had times when they should have panicked, right?
Yeah.
Or could have panicked. They never have. They've always just played it nice and calm.
Mm-hmm.
They've kept their heads. They've made their way through it. And I think exactly the same thing will happen here, right?
I'm just upset that Nick and Davie hadn't thought about getting rid of Carl. But maybe you said it's right. They wanted that one extra. They wanted that one bit of balance of the Goliaths being two people down instead of one.
I don't think Nick and Davie have shown that they're quite willing to cut people loose when they need to, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think Carl was endearing himself to anybody. As much as Nick and Davie may not have complained about Carl, I think they would have realised what impact he was having.
Yeah.
And they would know sooner or later this guy's got to go.
Yeah, maybe they just wanted a little.
Bit more.
I think they wanted the
one
balance.
More Goliath gone.
They wanted the 4. They wanted the 3-5 or whatever it was.
Because Davie and Nick have never sat there and gone, well, we're just going to pick them off one by one now. Carl was the one who said that, right?
Yeah.
Davie and Nick have never said that. Davie and Nick have always just worked with whoever will work with them.
Yeah, and Davie and Nick are now just working.
Right. And they've never, in the game. To my mind, they've never held a grudge.
No.
Right? They've never gone, I can't work with...
So being blindsided with this vote, I don't think should be that damaging, but I'm interested to see how they approach their next step, because the only thing I get there is they were one step behind, where right now they've always been ahead of the pack.
Yeah. Well, I'm not sure
to not know that was coming.
Exactly. But
if you're in it, they've now just got they've got a strike against their name for not being part of that vote. They've been a part of every other vote.
Yeah, true. But I think the big problem here won't be them for them. I don't think it's going to be a big problem, because I think Mike and Alison and who was Kara, right? Maybe not Kara. I think Kara's a bit smarter than this, but I think Mike and Alison will now feel like we have the top alliance. Right?
Yeah.
Gabby sold them that this is a new alliance, right? I don't think Christian's in the alliance.
No.
Christian has done a vote to get rid of someone.
And this is a thing that maybe this season is lacking in their thinking is the voting blocks.
Yeah, exactly.
The fluidity of the game, and not, like I said, we had the Goliaths so confident.
Yeah.
And then we switched it, and then some of the Davids, Carl being the leader of that, being so confident that we are in control. Will that switch again, or will it finally, like Jeff keeps saying, open up and the lines become blurred? Where now I need to be paying attention to every single person on here and building relationships and moving through every crack possible.
Well, look, I think Kara has demonstrated, believe it or not, a pretty good ability to do that.
Yeah, the fact that she let Dan go.
Exactly.
That's, I think, and the fact that she let Dan go, and she technically isn't on the, she isn't first name on the list. Alison is being, because Alison is the Wonder Woman. Angelina is now, we're kind of in no man's land, really, or no person's land, really.
Angelina, the problem with Angelina is her mouth. She could just vanish into the background if she wanted to at this stage, right?
Yeah.
Because bigger fish are being fried. Yeah. But she keeps putting herself in the front.
Yeah, and she keeps doing silly things to now that she got in with the alliance, she thought she was in a good shape and the confidence was coming out of her, and then now that's gone because Carl was voted out and she was on the wrong end of that vote.
Yeah.
So Angelina's always on the wrong end of everything.
Exactly.
She's always on the wrong end of everything. Potentially someone you'd take with you, because you'd take her over Kara.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Kara just seems switched on.
Oh, she is. And I think, look, I wouldn't be surprised if next episode we see some sort of voting block between Nick, Davie and Kara. I think
I'd like to see that.
Because I think Kara's going to realise that, like, Alison and Mike can only take her so far.
That's the thing. The reason why Kara is where Kara is, and Alec now being on the jury is where Alec is, in this moment was Alison. Firstly, Kara wasn't involved in this, but firstly, Alison and Mike, firstly it was Mike which sent Alec off.
Yes.
Then Alison freaked out when Kara had this beautiful plan to jump ship.
Yeah.
And Alison couldn't do it then.
Exactly.
And Kara should have just gone with it.
She should have.
She should have. Should have had her own confidence and gone with it. Yeah. But Kara, the ability to get rid of Nick, Dan, and she is playing with more cunning than an Alison. Alison is playing with her too much emotion. Not the emotion in the sense that you see Gabby play with emotion.
No.
But she's playing this emotional game where she's panicking.
Exactly.
She's like, oh my god, I can't do this. It's wrong to jump now. I'm afraid. Well, she's got fear. That fear emotion. Whereas Kara doesn't have that fear. And I think Kara is in a great spot.
Well, let's put it this way. Let's say Mike and Alison had followed Kara instead. Alex and Alison had followed Kara instead of Kara following Alan and Alex. They would have been part of that alliance by now.
Yeah. Yep.
And they wouldn't have been in trouble.
No.
So Kara's instincts.
Kara playing. Her gut instincts are correct, and I think if she was smart, she would see. Well, Alison's still playing with this. She plays with fear. Yeah. And fear controls her game, and Gabby plays
the same way.
Yeah. Well, not so much fear, just fear of her weakness, her insecurities. Well, I don't know. Not fear of my move not working.
No, but I don't think she's up to that stage. But she needs that support mechanism. She's scared that she's going to lose that support mechanism.
Yeah, she's too emotionally weak. To get through. So why would Kara side with an Alison and a Gabby where she could move over, use that information, maybe take a Mike if she wanted to. Yeah. Go to Davie and Nick, maybe Christian. Angelina's out of it. She won't.
Exactly.
And start to manipulate and move those and pick those people off.
Maybe one of the good things about this Alex being booted, right, is that it will open up Kara's game.
Good.
Because now she's not with Alex and Alison.
Yeah.
Now it's like it's Alison. I got to find somebody else.
Yeah.
So maybe this will be a good thing for her game.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, that's really all I have.
That's all I have too.
All right. Well, that's it from us this week. We'll see you next week. I'm Ryan.
I'm Jack.
Did you say hi?
No, I didn't. I said goodbye.
We're the
Didn't I say goodbye? Okay, we're the Inwits. We were. Okay.